The Wildest Job in Movies. There are dozens of jobs on a movie set, but some of them are a little strange. One of the most unusual jobs belongs to animal coordinators. These workers have to train and control all of the animals in a movie. The animal coordinator for the movie Evan Almighty, Mark Forbes, had a huge challenge. He had to train about 100 types of animals to walk onto a large boat. He filmed many of the animals separately. He didn't want them to run after each other. Coordinators have to manage more than one animal for a role. Like humans, almost all main animal characters have at least one double. The double must look just like the star. There might be one dog to do tricks, another to stay in one place, and a third to run from one place to another. Forbes and his team work to keep the animals healthy and maintain a safe atmosphere on the set. So if your favorite actor or actress gets attacked by an animal, you know who should get the blame.
Hello and welcome back. Welcome to the reading portion of our lesson. And yes, our reading passage for today is titled, The Wildest Job in Movies. Hi everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Laurel.
Welcome.
And today we are going to take a deeper look into the world of movie making.
Now, if you happen to make movies, you've got an exciting job. But just because you have an exciting job, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a lot of challenges to overcome when making movies. And yes, one of the big challenges that people encounter when making movies is how to use animals in that movie, especially when those animals are wild.
It's true. Wild animals are animals that are not safe to keep for pets. For example, alligators, lions, or bears are all wild animals. It's cool to see them in nature, but I wouldn't want one in my living room.
Me neither. Now, on any particular movie, you might see a wild animal on set. Now, set. Let's talk about what a set is in this case. In our article, in our reading passage, I should say, a set is the location where a movie is shot. It's the place where that movie is shot or filmed. For example, the set for the science fiction movie looked like the surface of the moon. Now, more on sets. Sets are often decorated to look like a different place, okay? They might even be decorated to look like a different time altogether. Or they might be decorated to look like a different world.
What the set looks like is very important to make the movie look more real. Putting animals in the movie can also make the film more realistic. Film is simply another word for movie. We often say something like, the actor has played in many films I have seen.
Now, Laurel just used the word film as a noun, but you can also use the word film as a verb. Yes, if you film something, you make a movie. Yes, if you film a movie, you shoot that movie. Now, one note, you can take a picture, but you cannot take a film. You film a movie or you make a movie. You never take a movie. That would just be weird. For example, the mother filmed her son as he took his first steps.
I can imagine that it would be very difficult to film an animal for a movie. They can't speak and they move around quite a lot.
Yes, and some of these animals are wild, ferocious beasts that would kill you or eat you if given the chance. So lucky for us, not all animals have major roles. Now here let's talk about the word role. When we're talking about movies or films or plays or TV shows, a role is the part that an actor plays in that film, play, TV show, etc. For example, Amy was happy when she learned she would have an important role in the school play. How about that? Well done, Amy. Anyways, you can have a big role in a movie or a TV show or a play, or you can have a small role in a movie, a film, a TV show, etc.
It's true. And with special effects nowadays, some movies can make animals talk. In which case, the animals may be a major character or role in the film.
That's amazing.
Now, a character is a person in a movie who is important to the story. If we're talking about the bad guys in a movie, we can say that there were many dangerous characters in the action film. Characters help move the story from beginning to the end.
Okay, back on the topic of using animals in movies. Now, most animals don't have important roles in movies. They're just used in the background to create the right atmosphere. Now, here we have the word atmosphere. In this case, we're not talking about the layer of air that surrounds the earth. No, 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 no. In this case, when we're talking about the atmosphere of a place, we're talking about how that place makes us feel. Very simply, the atmosphere of a place is the tone of that place. It's how that place makes you feel. For example, the atmosphere in the restaurant made me feel at home. Now, let's think about atmosphere a little bit more. A place can have a scary atmosphere, like a graveyard, or a place can be welcoming, and it can have a welcoming atmosphere, like a restaurant.
It's true. Now, I remember that in the reading, it discusses that the job of animal coordinators is to keep the animals on set safe, or keep a safe atmosphere for the animals. The place where nothing dangerous is likely to happen for the animals is the job of the animal coordinator.
Or to provide that safe space for both the actors and the animals. Now, sometimes it may be difficult to maintain control of these animals. After all, they're wild, ferocious beasts that are not tame. Now, let's talk about this word maintain before we go on. Now, if you maintain something, you keep it in working order. Okay, here though, we're not talking about maintaining a car or a machine of some kind. We're talking about keeping order on the set or maintaining order on that set. We don't want things to go crazy on that set. So thankfully, the animal coordinators are there to save the day. For example, it is difficult to maintain my good mood on very long work days. The days are just too long, and after a while, I want to strangle my coworkers. Anyways, likewise, it may also be difficult to maintain control over so many animals. So, animal coordinators really have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, this can be a very difficult task, especially since some movies require dozens of animals.
Dozens.
Dozens. Now, a dozen may mean 12, or a large number of people or things. We most commonly use dozen to talk about counting things, like the woman bought a dozen eggs. And if there are dozens of animals, and there are many dozens, anywhere from 10 to 100, the animal coordinator would have a lot of work to do.
Wow, dozens. That sounds like a whole lot of animals to take care of. Now, good thing there are people whose job it is to manage these animals.
Right.
Thank goodness for animal coordinators. Whew. Let's talk about the verb manage, okay? If you manage something, you have control over that thing, okay? It is your responsibility to care for and to control that thing. That's all there is to it. For example, the teacher can always manage to quiet the children when they get loud. She's in charge of things. She's in control. That teacher is amazing. Okay, me. I can imagine that animals can often be very difficult to manage or to control.
Now, sometimes the animals will get tired, which is why it is important that each animal has a double. A double is two of the same kind. For example, if the animal has a double, then each animal only has to do half the work.
It's very, very clever. Yes, this is a good way to make sure that the animals aren't overworked. Now, the person whose job it is to manage the animals is called an animal coordinator. Don't forget that. But we've got more. Okay, the root word of the word coordinator is the verb coordinate. Okay, if you coordinate two or more things, you cause them to work together smoothly. Okay, so yes, to coordinate two or more things is to do something that allows these things to work together well. For example, the team coordinated their efforts and won the game. Now back to the word coordinator. A coordinator is someone who coordinates. It's someone who can cause things to work together well, like the coach of a sports team.
Yeah. Or we can say that the animal coordinator is the person in charge of the animals to get them to do what they need to do and make sure that they will work well with the actors.
That
Right?
sounds pretty good to me.
Good. So, if something went wrong on the movie set, it would be the coordinator who would be to blame. Now, blame is to criticize someone for being the cause or source of something bad. For example, some people blamed the coach when the team lost the game. Blame is not something you want to have, so the animal coordinator must be really careful.
Okay, more on animal coordinators. Animal coordinators are also in charge of teaching the animals on movie sets tricks. Yes, on top of everything else, animal coordinators have to teach animals how to do tricks. Now here let's talk about the word trick. A trick is a special skill that a person or an animal can perform. For example, riding backwards on his bicycle was the boy's favorite trick. Now, in order to make a movie, many animals must be trained to perform tricks.
I wish I could ride a bike backwards. I mean, I know how to ride using no hands, but somehow that's not as impressive. These animals' tricks will be filmed separately and then put together later. Separate means apart or not together. For example, when we go to school, we take separate school buses. We're not on the same bus at all. To do something separately is to do something while separated or while apart.
Excellent. I couldn't have said that any better myself. Anyways, folks, that concludes the reading portion of our lesson. So, with that, we will separate for now and move on to the grammar portion of our lesson, where we will discuss prepositions of time. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Beyond time.
Beyond time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.